Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Engines of My Layout. Today we're going to be talking about the Amtrak AEM 7. This is one I've been waiting to do for a very long while, as it's one of my favorite locomotives in the layout. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the episode. The year is 2024 and the YHR have a set of two Amtrak passenger locomotives to run on the railway. One being the Amtrak ACS 64 and the second one being the Amtrak F40PH. All was well until the F40PH had a derailment that knocked itself off the railway forever. Well, you may be thinking to yourself, why can't the railway just use the ACS 64 full time? The only problem was that the F40PH was the YHR's do-it-all locomotive. After the derailment, the YHR had a lot to think about. Was it going to run the ACS 64 the full time, or was it going to find another do-it-all locomotive? Their decision was they were going to find another do-it-all locomotive. First, they took to eBay. When they didn't find anything there, they went over to Amazon, until they realized this. February 3rd, there was a train show coming up. All the YHR had to do was go in there and find a new locomotive, like they did last time when they got the C44 and the SD40-2. After walking the place for a little bit, the YHR had two locomotives that they couldn't figure out which one to get. The first one being Amtrak 642, which was an ACS 64 that they already had coaches for, and the second one was the AEM 7. They couldn't decide which one they wanted. Knowing that they needed the AEM 7's coaches to get the AEM 7, they started to walk around and see if they could get one for a cheaper price. Upon walking around, they found a guy who was selling AEM 7 coaches for $10 each, 5 of them, and a free baggage car thrown in there with the deal. The YHR was going to buy 642, but since 642 was $285 and they were going to be spending $50 on coaches and only $220 on a locomotive, they decided to take the deal because it was going to be around $290 anyway. After this, the AEM 7 was put right to service as it was a great locomotive. The YHR now had two passenger locomotives to manage their fleet. This was great for them, but things didn't last forever though. A couple weeks after putting the AEM 7 in service, the ACS 64 soundboard went out. The YHR didn't want to risk any more with the locomotive and took it off the rails for about 2 to 3 months. Now only being the only locomotive on the layout, the AEM 7 had to rush around multiple more coaches than it was supposed to. Instead of hauling 5 coaches, it was hauling more like 10 to 8 coaches per each load. So to help out the AEM 7, the YHR put the old GG1 back into service. Like we all assumed, it didn't last very long, as the ACS 64 returned a couple weeks later. Today the AEM 7 still runs happily around the layout, as it still used one of the YHR's do-it-all locomotives. That's how the AEM 7 marked its place in the YHR. Thank you all for watching this video. I know this one was a longer one compared to last episodes, but yeah, this was one I've been waiting to do for a very long while, so I'm very happy I got to do it. And yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching. Yamablue Hobbies, out.